What I want to talk to you about is the relationship between CRM and business strategy. Essentially, what I'm suggesting is that in addition to being very good in marketing, I believe that you can be leading your company's strategy. If you can begin to design your organization around your customers' outcomes, Lego built a number of years ago, probably about 8 years ago, this product called Lego Mindstorms, which was designed, it's software and a Lego kit that allows kids to build robots. And then they program the robots on the computer, and the program is downloaded into a little chip on the Lego, and then the robot starts to do things. They were expecting this to be bought by adults and given to children. What happened was that many of those people bought the product, but they used it themselves. Within about 10 days, they began to hack it and, changed the actual software and firmware in the product. The lawyers said, wait a minute, this is our intellectual property. You can't, change our intellectual property. You bought this branded Lego product, and you're now screwing it up. And the brand manager, Soren Lund, said, no, our brand is about innovation. It's about invention. We want customers to hack our products. What we need to do is put out a new license for the product that basically says, go at it, do whatever you want to, make whatever changes you want. And they did, and it became the top selling product for Lego. Outcome-driven approach to customer-led innovation is to really, as I said before, think about what is the customer trying to accomplish, this group of customers, and then how do we align our business processes within what the customer is trying to do. There are moments of truth, and I use the term moments of truth a little differently than the Jan Carlson original meaning. When you get a group of customers together and they design their ideal process for getting something done, they will all agree on the 2 or 3 points in that process that are the most important to them. So when I'm talking about a moment of truth, I'm really talking about the points where if you don't get it right, the customer will leave. What I notice is not only can the customers identify their moments of truth, but they can give you metrics, their metrics, how they measure success at every single point. And then you can align what you need to do against their metrics. It was this particular moment of truth that I think made them very famous, how Cemex dealt with this. We have all of these things that we plan very carefully, and then something happens, and the customer changes stuff, and it drives us nuts because our processes can't deal with that variability. And what Cemex realized was, it's always going to be broken, and that's basically, they redesigned their entire network in order to be able to do that. But it was all around a customer's moment of truth. And the metric was, deliver within an hour of when I need it. One of their big markets was the do-it-yourself market. And at the time, of course, Cemex didn't have a distribution system to handle that. So what they did, of course, was to create a franchise brand, Construrama, of hardware stores working under this brand, and then redesigned all their processes so they could deliver to these stores not only the small quantities that customers needed, but also all the supply chain and billing systems and credit and everything else that was needed to support that do-it-yourself kind of business. You don't necessarily need to do in a particular order. They're just the 5 patterns. First is to engage lead customers. These are the most insightful, passionate customers. And if you work with them really well, then, or watch what they're doing and commercialize it, then you can get way ahead of the curve. So I mentioned communities, and I've also talked about, lead customers being very important. Customers being your sales force, your promoters. There seem to be about 5 different roles that customers will naturally play. So who in your company, which departments in your company should be hooked into customers at these points? So the key takeaways here, in terms of the innovation piece of the puzzle, think about your lead customers. Who are your most insightful, passionate customers that you could, bring together in new ways? Either give them tools to let them do things, or bring them together into something more interactive than a focus group, where they're really rolling up their sleeves and co-designing with your team. Ways to help them reach their outcomes, and then design all of your offerings and products and business processes around their moments of truth, what matters to them as they try to reach those outcomes. Provide tools that empower them to get where they want to go, and then let them, use those tools. Open up as much as you can of your intellectual property so they can still get the benefit, but they're improvising, they're adding value around it. And always think in terms of communities. How can you bring customers together, both face-to-face, in, user councils, advisory boards, customer user groups, but then not just every time you bring customers together physically, think about, well, when they go home, can they stay in touch with each other? And can we get more people like them to come and work together and talk and share information? And can we eavesdrop on that to learn things?